So nobody teaches you like, okay, this is how you talk to a girl. This is how you greet a girl. Nobody teaches me those kinds of things.
You get that from like movies and like content that you absorb, like the whole Hollywood thing. You kind of think like, okay, this is what works. It's like usually you got the hot girl. And she's like with the jock, the oak that's focused on sport, and he's like doing things. He's like high status in school, and then you got like the skinny guy. He hasn't quite got things going for himself, but like he's mad obsessed about this girl. And then he like does all these weird, creepy things. He does all these things that if he did in the real world, it's like comes across as creepy.
Oh, yeah.
But then in the movies, because the guy ends up with the girl, it's like, oh, maybe these are the things that I need to do. Writing poems and all this other nonsense.
Buying girls flowers before you've ever gone on a date with them.
Because that's what you think you need to do. Although there are men that, raise their sons to be that way. I mean, there's a difference between expending your resources with no return and actually getting the return out of those things.
Explain that. Okay.
So like, what are the things that you as a man have? It's your time,
your
money, and your energy. Those are like the three things that like chicks generally want from you.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can go and chase after this girl and you can give her all of those things. But sometimes it's not what they want, because maybe it comes too easy, or maybe it's just she's just not into you. Now you've wasted all of that for nothing. For nothing. So that's what I mean by that.
A lot of dudes can't come to terms with that. I know a lot of guys who they don't realize that they're scumbags. And the reason why I say they don't realize that they're scumbags is that they think that because they're nice to girls and they buy girls things, these girls are going to sleep with them. And they think that, oh no, but I was so nice. Why is this chick not doing? To me, you're a scumbag. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, to me, you're weak because you believe that because you're going to give a person something like this, they owe you some kind of feeling.
So it's like, I put it this way, I kind of go like, if you got 10 guys and a hot girl, and like 9 guys are all like to her, and the one guy just has no interest in her, does not care about her, which one is the one that she wants to fix? Which is the one that's going to catch her eye? It's going to be the guy that is not going against, that's going against the grain.
What do you mean the one that she wants to fix? Do you think that women try to fix men?
They're always trying to change us, bro.
Explain that, bro.
Always trying to change us. I mean, think of a time in your life where you've been in a relationship with a girl where she's always wanted to change you. You play too much games, or you do this, you do that. And guys want to keep things the way they are, and girls want to change things. That's just how they are. They always want to change things.
So then, with that being said, then, what do you think is like the biggest problem with modern dating? Are we just not linking up? Are we not getting each other?
Hey man, I've got a interesting story. It was not so long after COVID, and now I'm like newly single, right? So I hadn't been in the dating game for like a while, and then I was like, okay, let me see what's out there. Let me see how. I had to sort of like get a grip as to how dating is now, because back in the day, I mean, you didn't have like social media and stuff. Like, I don't know, did you ever like phone a chick when you were in school and just
fuck yeah?
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I remember like Vodacom used to do this thing where after 11 o'clock, you got a free call for an hour.
Oh yeah?
So then you tune with the hands, you'd be like, oh, we're cool. At 11 o'clock, I'm going to hit you up. And then you just talk.
Know about it.
Yeah, camera guy knows about it. And then you talk for 59 minutes, hang up, call again, and then you keep it pushing until 5 a.m.
Right.
Oh, man, I remember that. And you'd have to be so far away from your bedroom so your parents would hear. So you're in the kitchen on the floor.
But did you have that set up already? Or tell me about like setting that up, like the very first phone call. Was it not like nerve-wracking?
Yo, it was terrifying.
Like your heart is like pumping and you just like, I don't want to make myself sound like an idiot because I really want this girl to like me and I want to say all the right things.
You really want to be funny and
right. And then?
Yeah, and then I spoke to her and it was like whatever. It didn't turn out well.
Okay.
Like at the end of it all.
Okay.
But like, I mean, I guess I had fun in the moment, but I did waste a bunch of time and energy, I guess.
Nothing came from it.
Nah, nothing really came from it.
But it's kind of like you callousing that that ability to get rejected because you're learning to speak to women. I think like going back to your first question, like I went up to a girl and I was actually speaking to like multiple girls that night. Just casual conversation, like just talking to women. And I just felt like they were like very uncomfortable. I think they were, because of COVID, staying at home. And I think people were sort of coming out of their social shells. I think they got very used to like being online, being behind a phone. I know plenty of oaks that would rather break the ice, so to speak, behind a phone,
in a DM,
on a Tinder message, than go up to that very same girl and speak to her face to face and establish that connection from there.
Why do you think so many men are pussy?
I think it's just the way the times have gone, man. We didn't have these things. It's like, it's brought so much convenience, technology and apps and all these cool fucking things. It's brought so much convenience. Like you could go on your phone now and get us something from fucking McDonald's if you wanted.
Yeah.
Any open restaurant, you could literally click your phone and it would be here. You put zero effort, it just came to you.
20 minutes, yeah.
And that's how I kind of look at like Tinder. When I was like looking at Tinder, I was like, this is like a menu of like different
Flavors.
options, right? But the problem is, it's like I might be like, yeah, I want to eat this. I want to eat this steak. But the steak has to be like, no, I don't know if I want you to eat me, or yes, I want you to eat me. They got to be on the same
page as you.
Exactly. That's what I figured was like so different.
What do you mean?
Just that digital aspect was
like
so
it's
different.
Like you no longer have to go and hunt. It's like they're all right here in front of you. Is that what you're saying? There's no effort that goes put into it. So do you think then
it's less effort? It's less effort.
It's less effort. So do you think then that
but even then you're not guaranteed success. Like even if she swipes right on you and like you have open line of communication, the onus is still on you to get this thing going. So that hasn't changed, because women pretty much just sit there and look pretty and want you to sort of take the lead. They do.
Shout out.
You need to hold the conversation. You need to have like a whole bunch of criteria that you need to tick off. And then on top of that, there's still an additional bunch of hoops that you need to jump through.
What are those hoops to you? Is that like the whole thing? You need to be like this tall, you need to have this much money, drive this car.
And if you think about it, like whatever these girls want, it's very unattainable for them. And like, and even if it is attainable, like, do you bring the same value that you're asking for? Like, do you offer the same?
Do you bring that to the table?
Exactly. Like whatever that guy you want has, do you have what he wants? And I think today chicks are just very like delusional. They just think like they deserve everything. They can get anything exactly the way they are.
Do you think men have more realistic expectations when it comes to who they are, how they look, what they can achieve, and the type of woman that they can be with? Or do you think that a lot of dudes these days are reaching for the stars and it's just like, what the fuck?
Well, I think if a guy reaches for the stars, don't you think it generally like comes to him? He has like all these options. When he does, if he like pursues his purpose and he achieves the things he sets out.
I'm talking about, just like you say, men who do not have value, lower value men.
Okay.
How many of them do you think are looking at supermodels, are looking at these beautiful women, these women who have the capabilities to be incredible mothers, and thinking, yeah, I deserve one of those.
I don't think guys are looking at that. I think they look at that as something nice to have. And it's like, we know what we need to do to get that. Like, pussy has been a drive in men for like since the beginning of time.
100%.
Since the beginning of time. Like, if you think about it, like, at what point did we realize like pussy had value? Like, vagina had importance from like year one, since the dawn of time.
Straight up.
And then it was like, okay, I could get all his rocks for this. And over time, those things have changed. Like, men have had to adapt and change and bring more to the table, but women still only have to bring one thing. So they haven't changed from a baseline.
So there's an argument. I have to challenge you a little. You know that. So
Let's go, bro.
So there's an argument that people are stating that essentially the reason why a lot of female society is very materialistic in that manner is due to the fact that male society didn't allow women to own land, belongings, and such until like the 60s. So women had to become materialistic in order to survive, and they had to become
I think
image conscious in order to survive.
No, I think those times you're talking about, I think women were very dependent on men to survive. And now times have changed, so women don't need men to survive.
Yes.
So they want men when it's convenient for them. They want what men have to offer when it's convenient for them. That's what I think it is. And the materialistic thing, I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I think if you look at the stuff you see online, by the way, like, I've been off social media for like 3 months now.
Ooh.
And it's like, it's great. Like, I've got more time to myself. Feel like a lot more mental clarity. Because like the things that are constantly bombarding, also you get that reaction of like, you got nothing to do. So you just scroll. You just scroll, and it becomes like an endless pit. And then it's like 2 hours have gone.
I found myself stuck in that cycle too. Then you look at the end of the week at your screen report, and it's like you're spending 3 hours on your phone every day.
What could you have done with it 3 hours?
That is true. Because, I mean, you're talking about what could you do with 3 hours. A lot of guys complain about how exercising for 2 hours a day, oh my God, where am I going to find those 2 hours? You know what I'm saying?
There's time, bro. You just gotta look at it and be like, okay, this is important enough for me to do, and do it. Read the book, journal, fucking go to the gym, say no to the takeaway, say no to the drink and the drugs. Just look after yourself, man. I think it goes a long way. You know, we're not here for a long time, but look after yourself, and you might exceed that time you think you're going to be around for. And when you do get to your top, so to speak, maybe you'll be a lot better off than you were if you did all those things throughout your life. And that's how I look at it. So I've got nothing against people that do it. Like, by all means, like, enjoy. I have a beer every now and then, have a whiskey every now and then, but I feel like I get no value out of it, like doing it all the time. I feel like having a beer after like a hard graft just tastes so much better, man. Don't you ever feel that?
Just because I feel
it's
like
deserve it. You know what I'm saying?
I like drinking after I've done everything that I need to get done. Because then I feel like I don't have to think about anything. I can truly just let loose and not give a shit because I've achieved everything I need to achieve.
Shut.
So I do get what you mean. And then I find that a lot of people, what happens is that you party so much that it doesn't mean anything to you. It just becomes a repetitive cycle within your life. And then you're just doing it for the sake of doing it. And you're trying to latch onto that good time, that one great time that you had when you were in matric.
Like, we've all got good stories of like when we went out and had a good jaw or had a crazy house party. We've all got good stories. I mean, like, is that all it's good for? Like, what came out of that? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I don't know. It's if you can get yourself to a place where you can party and enjoy yourself responsibly, then I don't think that's any harm. You also want to live a bit, right? You don't just feel like you're waking up and working your corporate job and you sleep, you eat and sleep, and
like you're just a slave to
and
the
you just
corporation.
do it over and over and over again. The time just goes, man. Like, can you remember like the first time we met each other?
I think I was in grade 9, and then I came to your house with my Xbox.
Okay. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Did you and Shurika and stuff come over as well?
Yeah. And back then, like, we were all super into gym, so I even trained with the guys.
Yeah, I think we had some weights. Yeah. Man, and look at where we are now. I think I wouldn't have said that we'd be sitting across from one another having a conversation. So two random dudes having a random conversation. But I must say, like, I think you've come like a long way, man.
Shut, man.
You really, really have. I think you were always well spoken, from a young age. But it's nice to see the guys like develop into who they are. Like your style came out. So like, bro, when you walked into the wedding, I was like, who's this fucking swagger? I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Like I couldn't recognize it, but I knew it was you. Same laugh, same
shut, bro.
Yeah, like props to you, man. I think more guys need to do that. And I think that comes from like going out into the real world, doing things, exposing yourself, making mistakes, learning from them, and then all those impacts in your life ultimately form and shape who you are.
And also what you were talking about before is self-improvement. Eating better, training, like drinking less, doing less drugs. Now I need to ask you this question, right? Because on social media, you see guys like Aiden Ross trying to change their life, getting into shape, changing their routines, and then social media jumps on them. You see guys like KSI getting into shape, social media jumps on them. Same with PewDiePie. People get against them. Do you believe, or I wonder if there is a war on masculinity in social media right now?
I think there's a lot of... Okay, so there's one thing, right? What you consume on social media ultimately gets thrown more towards you.
Yeah.
Like
your algorithm.
Yeah, the algorithm, which is like so toxic. I mean, like, fuck. That's why I'm so glad I'm off it. Like I remember at one stage I was like, okay, obviously like you look at like hot chicks and you look at pretty girls and it's all like the same thing, but it's like you can never get enough of it. And then I started like switching over. I was like, nah, I think I'm gonna like look up like meal plans and like self-development stuff, motivational stuff. I'm gonna like follow a whole bunch of like guy fitness influencers, see what exercises they're doing. And then like I don't know what happened, but it like flipped over. So like I was getting bombarded with like all these chicks. Now I'm getting bombarded with like all these dudes. And then I started like seeing like very like feminine dudes as well. I don't know if the algorithm thought like I was gay or whatever. And I was just like, I'm not gay. But it's like feeding you all these things that it thinks you want to keep you on there more. So I think that's the one thing. It's like I haven't really seen too much of like this agenda to make men soft. But I do know that it exists. I mean, we've all seen like the feminist stuff flood our social media every now and then. I think it just boils down to like men don't know what they should give women. And so they're being told and they're just following this thing that women actually don't even really want. That's what I think it is. And so that's where you get like these soft guys. The guys that conform to what women, but the chicks just laugh at these guys. I tell you what, the chicks are tired, bro. Chicks want real men, bro. They really, really do. They just want oaks to be guys.
Do you know what somebody was saying to me is that a lot of women now want men who are like their fathers, and they are struggling to find more and more men who are like their fathers.
Yeah, but how would you describe their fathers?
That's the thing. Because if you were to describe their fathers now in the modern context, you would be describing what people would call a sexist. Do you know what I'm saying?
But go deeper. Like, what did their fathers do that would be deemed sexist?
Well, I mean, their fathers wouldn't want them to dress the way that they're dressing nowadays, often in social media. I would say their fathers, I think their fathers
The guys
were
with girls.
masculine men.
Yeah.
Their fathers were masculine men. They were leaders of their households. I don't want to say controlled their households, but they were the heads of the household. Do you know what I'm saying?
They were the breadwinners. They brought in the bacon.
Yeah.
And they protected their family as well.
Yeah.
So I think you're going back to like traditional households, and then the mother would stay at home, cook and clean. She'd run the house. He'd take care of everything else, the bills and whatever, right? I think that's what you're kind of going after. But now, going back to your original question, which was the whole materialistic thing, women can provide for themselves. They have ways to bring in money, and that's now sort of like changed how they view men. That's why I think like there's a lot of this I don't need a man in my life, because they think that they can survive without a guy. They can make money now, no problem, but they want a guy in their life when it's convenient for them. Women need men more than men need women. And it's just the truth.
Explain that. What do you mean?
I mean, like, we need women to procreate, but I mean, outside of that, we don't need women.
What about like nurturing, affirmation?
I mean, if you can find those things, that's great, but I mean, you don't need that. Do you really need a woman to tell you what to do with your life? If you're on your grind and you focus and determined, do you really need someone to fuel that? Or is that just a nice to have?
That's tricky.
Why is it tricky? I think it's fairly straightforward. I think if you know what you want and you're going after it and you're doing all the things that you need to do, you don't need any other external stuff.
You made a very good point there. It is super nice to have. Because the only response I can say is, but it would be nice.
But it would be nice, bro. It would be nice. But unfortunately, like, again, I think women want to push the boundary. Like, when you get into a relationship, you kind of have like these boundaries set in place. They're kind of just there, but they're not discussed. And then as you progress further into the relationship, it kind of like, as human beings, we always just want to test the limits. So like they also constantly push the limits. They try and see how far they can take this.
I've always thought that that women who test you, they're trying to test you to see if you are strong enough to defend them.
So I think this is what it is. I think there are more men and less women. So
in the world,
right? So maybe we can Google it and confirm this, but I'm pretty sure there are more men than there are women. And the thing is, it's like women are on like a biological time clock. So like time's going. And if I'm with you, like I need to know that you're the one. So if you're not the guy for me, then I need to
keep it pushing. I need to find that guy.
I need to find the guy. It's like a very like, you call it like hypergamy. Like you just move on to like the better thing. It's just what happens. It's just
not really questioned.
And it's like, who loses in that situation? The guy. Because he's invested. Imagine like you're with like a girl for 5, 6 years, 10 years, like, and she's just not interested in you because you're just too easy. She's gotten everything she could from you. Or maybe she just finds something better, something someone else can offer more. Everything you can and more. Cheers, buddy. Wish you all the best. Thanks for the good times. It's the truth, man. It's the truth. So, yeah, I don't think you need a woman, man, as much as a woman needs you. I always tell the girls, like, you need me more than I need you. No, I don't need you. And then I go, okay, who's going to open your pickle jar? Who's going to open the peanut butter? That thing's tight, bruh. That thing is fuss. Who's opening it? What are you going to do? Then they always tell me some nonsense. Oh, I'll get a cloth and I'll do this, or I'll bang on it. There's like a technique. And then I'm like, how miserable is your life without a man? Like, how much better would it be if you just had a guy to just be like, babe, can you please open this? There you go.
But somebody could say that it's just as bad to have no bitches.
No, I think there's a difference between not having women in your life and can't get any woman in your life. There's a difference. There's a difference.
Explain that.
Come on, man. Like,
come on, the audience needs to know.
Like, if you choose not, it's like a choice. Like, if you can get women but you choose to keep them away, that's your choice. Mm-hmm. But if you genuinely can't because they're not attractive to you, or you don't have the skills, or you're not at the right status.
Skills? Do you think that game exists? Like, do you think it's a thing?
100%, bro.
I don't think game exists.
Tell me why.
I think people like what they like.
Okay.
I think...
okay, so you like this girl, and then what?
And then I'm going to go and talk to her.
What's that? Game. That's game, bro.
That's not game. That's me
game,
cheating.
Bro.
Can I tell you why I don't believe in game? Because I have watched a handsome guy go and say something to a girl, and then I've seen an ugly guy go and say the exact same thing, and the results are totally different. People like what they like.
No, man.
People like what they like. There's no such thing as game.
Dude, if you walk into a room and you have true confidence, no matter how you look, genuine confidence, that's gonna bring some eyes to you. There's gonna be some sort of interest in you. It has to be genuine. And when you've got...
but that's what I'm saying is, I'm going to walk into that... I'm going to be genuinely me. But I'm not going to be up there like, I don't have no special lines, I'm saying. I don't have moves. Like, because when you talk to guys about game, like I remember I was talking to this OG from Durban, right? This OG who has fucked thousands of girls. And he's the head of a really prominent organization, okay? Dude's like 46, his girlfriend is like 25, gorgeous,
okay,
all right? And he was telling me the exact lines and the moves that he does. He's like, you lick your lips like this. You walk with your hands like this when you go up to a girl. You walk out of the room like that. And I was like, no way, dude.
Bro, but he's executing what did you just, like, how did you just describe him? He's head of this big business. He's obviously well established, so he's older, he's wiser, he's been through the mill.
Yeah.
And he's just telling you, like, what he does. But what he does is his game. It's true to who he is. It's like he's developed that through, as we said earlier, walking through the fires.
But then I don't think that's game. That's just you. That's how you've been made now.
But you build your own game.
Like,
you build your own game. Like, you've got your own game. Like, what you're describing now is your own game. But if you don't consistently improve who you are as an individual, I don't think you're going to get there, man. Like I think nowadays most people prefer like the online thing in any case.
I think also a lot of people, I find that a lot of people, this is going to be super controversial. A lot of people think like,
I hope I'm not putting my career on the line here.
Nah. People will be like, a lot of guys will be like, they won't develop themselves because they're like, no, I'm focusing on my mental health, and thinking that I'm fat right now is going to make me depressed. So I'm not going to go to gym. I'm going to focus on my mental health. And I'm not going to talk to these girls, because when I talk to these girls, like, do you know that's like a thing? Do you know what I'm saying?
Soft. So soft, bro.
So people are using like stuff like that as reasons for why they aren't developing themselves. And you were talking about that thing of calluses. You're talking about when you go up to a girl and you get rejected, you build up that callus. And I've noticed the guys who are bad with girls are the guys who haven't built up the calluses.
100%.
There's guys who they started talking to girls in grade 6. And then by the time they were in matric, people were like, why are you so good with girls? No, you're only seeing them good with that girl. That all got denied 10 times this same evening. He just didn't care. He kept it pushing. He was still dancing the same.
100%. 100%. I think at the end of the day, it's like, if you can continuously strive to be the better version of yourself, and like, chicks pick up on it. Chicks know, they just know a guy that's like focused on where he wants to go with his life. And as we were saying earlier, less women, more men. So I need to know this guy is a winner. So they're not going to waste any more of their time on a guy that's going to be a loser. Like, ask any girl, like, what guy they think they deserve. They always go to like some sort of like physicality or physical characteristic, and then like the money side, like financial stability.
Or be like tall, dark, and handsome, and he's got to drive a Benz.
And he's got to have all of this. He's got to have that. But right at the end, they don't even. It's not like they go, I want the guy to treat me well. I want a guy who's a gentleman. They don't say all of those things. Go on Tinder now. You'll see like chicks are already being picky as it is. They're going, swipe left if you less than 6'2". It's like, what? I'm a great guy. You've already just written me off. You haven't even gotten to know me yet.
Yeah, in a country where the global average,
how dare you be so picky? Like, what makes you think a 6'2" guy wants you in any case? You know what I'm saying? Like, what have you brought to the table?
See, that's a question
the dating scene is changed. It's very weird. I think more guys should approach chicks. Get rejected, doesn't matter. They're just chicks at the end of the day. They're just human beings. I mean, we treat them, going back to like our little phone call thing when we were in high school and primary school, you know, we treat them like they're this magical creatures that have rainbows that fly out their asses. And it's like they're just people, man. They're just people. Go up, speak to them. If she turns you away, I mean, you learn something. If she doesn't turn you away, you learn something, and you still got the number or whatever, you got some interest. It is what it is, man. But this online thing is just, I think it just makes Oaks soft. You're too scared to approach girls, man. And girls nowadays are not used to it, so they like think you're weird if you do. But
if you approach them in real life.
Yeah. But some girls kind of go, that's refreshing. You know what another thing guys do?
What?
When they do get that match on Tinder? Let's say they match the chick late on a Sunday, so you can't make plans, right? So you got to make plans for the next Friday or the Saturday or the Sunday. On the match, you'll be like, hey, listen, time and place, let's meet up. She'll be like, okay, cool. Monday comes, Oaks are messaging her. Hey, we're still on for Saturday. Yeah, we're on. Tuesday comes. Hey, we still on for Saturday? Dude, you know how many girls I've spoken to that are just like, bro, I've literally said yes to you once. Like, just leave me alone. How do you have time to keep messaging me the whole week, every day of the week, to make sure the dates are still on? Like, my word is my word. I'm going to be there. And I get where the guys are coming from, because they've probably been like so used to girls just flaking them. But at some point, you got to have like your own self-respect. You got to have your own things to do. Even if she's agreed to go on the date with you on that particular day, you should already have things planned. Like, if it doesn't work out, whatever.
Chilling with the boys.
I'll go chill with my boys. I'll go read a book. I'll go hit the gym. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
You're not sitting at home sobbing.
Exactly. So I think that's like one thing guys should do. Chicks know too much already, man. Oaks paste their whole life story on their bios. I don't know if you've ever seen that, because it's like, this is what women want. Women want to know this, and this, and this, and this, because they want to make sure that sometimes a woman just wants a little bit of mystery, bruh. Sometimes she wants to find out who you are in that moment.
How do you navigate Tinder then?
I put my photos, and I pretty much, they need to just decide if they want to see me. And then when we do
Do
match,
you not even put a bio? You name.
I might have like one or two stupid things like Asian persuasion or whatever. Yeah, you got to put it there because like I've been told like, hey, you look Indian or you look colored or you don't look Asian or whatever. Like it's like a mix or something. Just a little. It's also like another like little teaser just to conversation warmer, I guess. But at the end of the day, like if I have a match, I'm not bothering her. I've got my own things to do. My time is my time. You got to be selfish with your time. Because again, that's one of your resources. You be selfish with your time, your energy, and your money. And you get to the date. I don't know, some oaks might have like a different approach. But yeah, so I don't speak to her at all. I go time, place, yes or no. If it's yes, shop. You don't hear from me.
Straight up, like you'll be like 7:30, neighbor goods market, yes or no.
100%.
Literally yes or no.
Yeah, yes or no. Even sometimes I won't even say yes or your thumbs up or thumbs down.
Let's go.
Yeah, thumbs up or thumbs down. And if it's thumbs up, there's nothing else to discuss. We'll discuss there. You'll see me when you get to know me when we get there.
Okay, so now you're on the date, right? What happens if you get onto the date and it's shit? She catfished you, or she's bad conversation, or it's shit. Like, what's your move?
Bro, let me tell you, I've also been told, like, I thought you were like a catfish or whatever. And I'm like, what? Like, does it really, like, I didn't really know that it happened. I thought, like, that's just like a drama thing. But it happened to me as well. So there was this girl, I liked her pictures from what I saw. But in reality, she didn't really look like that. You can see if you like stare hard enough, oh, this is the same girl. But I mean, it is what it is, bro. If you stare hard enough, you're okay. I mean, like, you can make fun of me being Asian, like how much more can an Asian guy strain his eyes? But like, okay, fine, whatever. That was just one of the dates where she was looking for something else, and I mean, she didn't look like what I was looking at. So we pretty much, that was the end of the date. I mean,
What, did you finish the meal like?
No, it was just coffee, bro. Always keep it simple. Don't invest too much. Just keep it simple, bro. Because you got to be selfish, man. Do you work hard for your money?
Yeah. Especially to make it in media, bro.
So
I've watched thousands of people fail around me.
Exactly. So you got to be selfish with your time and your money. If you know it's not going anywhere, like call it. Like, this was great. It was nice meeting you, or whatever. I might keep you in mind for like a friend of mine, or maybe you think of like someone that you could pair up with this person. So you hook them up. But more often than not, I think it's just I go on and I do my own thing, and I wish you all the best. Another thing I do is, like, let's say I'm like interested in the girl, like, I'll pay for the first date.
Okay.
So I'll pay for the first date, and let's see how it goes. So let's say she orders this and whatever, like, it's chilled. Like, I got it. You also want to be able to show that you can take care of things, can take care of the situation. Not that, like, because sometimes, like, they get that giddy feeling like, oh, he's being a gentleman, he's taking care of it, right? But if it's like, I don't want to see you again, or like it doesn't go well or whatever, even if the date goes well, and just like, I know I don't owe you anything.
Yeah.
So like, the ball is in my court. I take my ball and I walk away. I don't play the game. I think that's how guys should do it. And that's my opinion.
So you're saying walk in like a man, walk out like a man.
100%. And if it's a girl that you like, then you'll set up a second date. You know, maybe you can say like, okay, cool, I'll get this one. Because nowadays girls they don't want to be like, they're independent and like they're making their own money. They don't want you to feel like, you know, you got to take care of them. They also want to show that they can take care of they can hold their own. So I'll just say, okay, cool. I'll grab this one. You can grab the next one. And that's like a nice way of sort of securing yourself a second date if you want to see her again. and walking away if you don't want to see her again, not knowing that, like, okay, I don't owe her anything.
What do you think is the stupidest thing you could do on a first Tinder date? Like, what is the thing you are sealing the coffin?
I think just being too open and just like spilling the beans and on who you are, and just think.
That's hectic. That's the opposite of what most people say. They say you should be open. That's how you get compatibility.
I think you kind of pick that up in the beginning. Like you chicks want mystery, bruh. You just trickle it. You give them a little bit of that, a little bit of this. They're happy. You give them everything. Then it's like, I'm entitled to this. Then they start, all the screws come off. Then they start acting faulty and treating you bad. I think that's like what happens. Like in like long-term relationships, like the chick knows all your tricks. She knows you through and through. There's nothing else to know about this guy. They kind of get like lackadaisical. And they treat you differently. Whereas in the beginning, it's like, I really want him to like me. So like they're doing all the things that they know you want done. And it might even be things that they don't want to do. They might not like watching football. But because she likes you and she wants you to like her, she becomes a girl that watches football. Then you're like all comfy with one another. It's been a while. She's not watching football anymore. It's not who she is. It's not what she wants. That's what I think. I think on a guy's side, trickle down. Trickle it. Sprinkle a little bit here, a little bit there. Don't give everything off immediately.
But then, okay, so my question is, how does one transition from this game phase where you're trying to be elusive, you're trying to be mysterious, to now I have a partner and now I have a wife?
But when I say like don't like be open, I'm saying like her accessibility to you. Like you need to be busy. You need to be doing stuff, man. You can't be on your phone talking to her all the time.
So you don't mean open about who you are. It's more about like, you can't be that guy who, hey babe, how are you doing?
You can.
Did you have a good day?
No. You can be open about who you are, but she has to like earn it. I think like.
What do you mean earn it? How does she earn it?
Like there are things about you that some people shouldn't know. And if that person's going to know those things about you, they should at least earn it. Don't just be an open book and throw your whole life story. What else is there to know about this guy? I know everything about him. On to the next oak.
That's interesting. That is definitely spicy. I think...
Spicy.
I think a lot of people would go though, but like, what about this whole idea of finding your match? And then now you've got this person who they're so much like you and you're so much like them. And now you've both spoken about these things and you've found these commonalities. You think that's bullshit?
No, I don't think that's bullshit. I think to a certain degree it's healthy, but at the same time, you need to have your own thing that you do. You need to have your own time separate from one another. Like I think guys don't really want their girls around. They want them there somewhere. Just be somewhere there. But don't be on me all the time. That's what I feel. Like especially if like you're a busy dude and you got things that you need to get done. You don't want that nagging, constantly nagging you or taking you away from what you're trying to achieve. Your goals and your purpose and whatever it is. But you still want her, right? You still want to she must just be around somewhere around the corner. Like, I don't care what you're really doing. Just be around the corner. Like, do your thing. It's okay. Like, I know you're there. Okay, cool. Sharp. I'm doing me. When I'm ready to see you, I'll see you. That's how I think it should be. At least in like the beginning stages. And then even when it becomes long term, I think it's healthy to have your time alone.
So you're saying that in the beginning stages, she needs to earn that attention of yours until you are in a serious relationship.
She needs to earn all your resources, bro. Everything. Your time, your money, your energy. It takes a lot of energy to work on a relationship. It takes a lot of time to like work on a good, healthy relationship and build a relationship up.
That's why you notice there's a lot of guys who may sleep with a lot of different girls or have a lot of girlfriends all the time, but then they never accomplish shit. There's a lot of dudes where it's like, okay, this dude's got like 23 girlfriends over the course of his like high school experience, but he's never finishing anything.
Bro,
He's never building.
I don't know how Oaks do it. Like, Oaks will have so many chicks and they'll just like juggle the conversation. No. Maybe I'm humble. Maybe I'm like one at a time or whatever. But I don't know how Oaks do like multiple women.
I find a lot of those dudes get jack shit done outside of that. All of the guys I know
It's
who are
okay.
fucking like lots of girls at the same time, they have fucked up lives outside of that.
But it's a different thing if like you're already established and
Yeah, that's a different thing. But
you
even
don't have
the
to worry
way
about
in which
money and
those guys approach the women is different. Because for them, it's, how do I put it? It's almost like they sit in one place and the women come towards them. Whereas these other guys that we're talking about, they're constantly hunting. And they're constantly going out to where the girls are. And they're making themselves look good for the girls and finding the girls. Do you know what I'm saying?
dude, it's that I think that's just a waste of time, money, and energy, if you ask me, because you get nothing out of that. Maybe you get like 1 or 2 smashes and then that's it. That's all you get out of it. But I think if you're well established, it's a completely different thing. If you're well established, like you don't have to stress about money and you don't have to worry about, your mom's health and, all those things. Like those things are all sort of taken care of. Then it's a different thing, because then you kind of had the time to just do those things. I think like that's pretty much what millionaires have, or like really well off people.
But they also, like, the women come to them. They're not hunting. They're not on.
But why are they?
WhatsApp
But why are
texting
they
these girls all
going to the
time.
guys?
Because they've got it sorted.
Exactly, it's status.
Yeah.
It's status, or at least it's like Tinder swindler.
Yeah.
Like that was like an interesting one. Did you watch a
I
documentary?
did watch it.
I watched it once.
I was actually going to ask you what you think about guys who live off of their women.
I mean, ask a woman what she thinks about a guy living off her, and I think that'll tell you the answer.
Ooh.
That's not what they want. They want a guy that can take them and show them a piece of the world that they've never seen. Women always like fight for equality, but in actual fact, like they always want a guy that's either equal or better, and better is always better. Like you can land yourself a solid equal guy making the same bucks, whatever, but another oak comes along and he's making more money. That guy's more attractive automatically, more status. That's the next guy. Like this Tinder swindler thing, right? Yeah, like he was like a con man who posed as like this, what was it, like a billionaire diamond,
like a billionaire, like
prince,
yeah. And they would never ever see him.
How
lacking.
many chicks fell for that? So many chicks fell for that thing. They like gave him money because I think society, as well as like what you see on social media, they give women like the delusion that they can attain that. But if you look at like a true, genuine like person that's of like super high status, they're not gonna mess with any of those girls that fell for the Tinder swindler. Think about it.
That's true. That is definitely true.
They're hanging out with other girls, man. 9s, 10s.
Because a lot of the girls that the Tinder swindler was messing with,
They weren't
5, 6, and 7s.
They weren't. Yeah.
Low 7s. Low 7s.
That's the other thing.
A lot of chubby women.
Going back to your game thing, it's a combination of confidence and arrogance. So it's like when you approach a woman, it's a combination of those two things. And so oh man, this is gonna sound so bad. But how you should always like look at it is like on a scale of 1 to 30, not 1 to 10. Because 1 to 10 is a bit. It doesn't help you, and this scale is actually for you, the guy, right? 1 to 30. So you go 1 to 10 is ugly girls. 11 to 20 is all right girls, and then 21 to 30 is like hot girls. That's how you should put it. So you take the girl and you put her on the scale. And then it kind of like, it's not so bad anymore. Like you look at that girl that if you said, okay, she was a 9, in reality, on that scale of 1 to 30, maybe she was actually only a 15 or a 17. Maybe that's what she is. And so it helps you to approach her and conduct yourself in the appropriate manner.
Oh my God, this is actually fucking me up right now.
Why? Tell me. Like,
no, because you might be onto something here,
I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you. Like, it's just like when you meet a girl for the first time, when you see a girl for the first time, it's like you only know like face value. But that helps you. That determines how you go up to her. And then once you get to know her, then it's like a whole bunch of other things that might,
it's all the other intrinsic values.
It might adjust her where she is on that scale. And that helps you carry on, conduct yourself in the correct, as again, I said, it needs to be like genuine confidence. Like, so you can't be too confident and you can't be too arrogant. Like, you got to have like the right combination.
And I've noticed that almost all women can smell when a person's faking confidence. And almost all women can smell desperation.
100%. 100%. And that's just a turn off for them.
Horribly. In fact, one of the things that a lot of people have said to me is that it's like, I know, like, women don't want their man to be talking to a lot of women, but they more don't want a man who is talking to no women.
So that's what makes a guy sexy, though, right?
What do you mean?
Like his ability to bring other women or to get other women. That's what makes him sexy. It's like, these are the things that, like, talking to her was how he got her. But now, if you don't practice those skills, like, how is he still going to stay sexy? Like, you can't be like a pro footballer banging goals every week and then like, yeah, I've won the Ballon d'Or once, and then like take a 5-year layoff and then come back and win the Ballon d'Or. It's like, it's still, it's in question.
You got to keep practicing.
It's like human resource department. Like, that's what it is, man. Like, you have to, it's skills, bro. That's why I say, like, girls don't have game. And game is not necessarily like a set of lines and movements. I think it can be, but I think what it boils down to is like, are you being genuine when you approach this person? Are you being yourself?
Okay, so I want to go back to something that you said. You said girls don't have game, all right?
They don't. They never needed to have game.
What about this notion of feminine charm? What about the idea of women using their femininity to control guys, women using their femininity to get guys to do it themselves? Is that not female game?
When I say game, I say like, you're a guy, there's a girl sitting across, and she's interested in you, she comes up to you. Like, she doesn't have the skills. She's never had the need to. Oh, yeah, especially if she's a pretty girl. Yeah. She's never had the need to. Like, I think we were talking about it the other day. Like, you were telling me like how you work with so many pretty women, but at the end of the day, you're like, it's just a woman.
They're normal.
They're just normal.
I think that was a very trippy thing for me to realize. Is I started working with lots and lots and lots of models, like some of the most beautiful women in the whole country. And you talk to them and you think that they're going to have this different outlook, like they're going to be enlightened, like they see this new world, and it's just the same girls, still insecure about the same things, still worried about the same things, like it's just normal. This girl's just genetically gifted.
Yeah, she's just packaged in nice wrapping and a nice bow, and it looks nice. But that's why I say, like, a girl's game is generally like how pretty she is. How can her game is to get the guy to come over. That's a girl's game. They go out, they get their hair done, put their makeup on, and they just wait. That's a girl's game. And then there's a oak that's got enough pluck to go up and talk to her. And if he comes across the right way, then, and you know, obviously, suits her physical preference, then they off to a flying start, I think. But other than that, I mean, a girl doesn't have game.
So you're saying that women fish and men hunt?
Women are the fish and men are the fishermen. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Now, right before we end this, because we're right at the end.
Are we going? Okay, cool.
I want to chat about a super controversial figure right here. I want to talk about Andrew Tate.
Okay.
All right. Now, like I said to you off camera, I think Andrew Tate's a really polarizing figure because as much as a lot of what he says is very much deemed misogynistic and sexist, and
much of what he says,
I'm trying to be so political right now. I'm trying to be so political.
Let it go, bro. Let it go.
A lot of Andrew Tate's quotes have been seen as being very misogynistic, very sexist towards women. And he's
like
currently...
the property, like a woman is my property and like those kinds of things, okay?
Yeah, but I also worry because it's like, I grew up without a dad. And I know that like, there's things that Andrew Tate says that are genuinely really good advice for a young boy who doesn't have a father figure.
So I would say like, would you say that Andrew Tate is an intelligent person? Like, would you like?
I think I have to say he's an intelligent person.
He's smart.
And I think
he's a smart person.
Yeah, I have to say that he's a smart dude.
Okay, he carries himself well. He's
you can't
well-spoken.
amass all of that without being a smart dude.
He can formulate a conversation or an argument and present it in a way that's very easily digestible by the people that are listening.
100%.
I think a lot of it is like he knows that he needs to get attention, right? So I think a lot of it is like attention seeking. It's like a front that he puts on the camera. Like you hear him often say like, I'm a gentleman. And like you might like being off social media. I don't know where he is. He's still in prison.
He's still in prison.
Still in prison for
no charges put up officially. No real evidence.
So this was the human trafficking thing, right?
Human trafficking.
Was it just that?
I believe.
Okay. Isn't sad like some people like want that to be true? Like they want him locked away for real. Because if you are one of those people that want those things to be true, then it means that those things actually happen to those people. And if he did do those things, then lock him up, bro. Throw away the key. Like give him what he deserves. But if he hasn't done those things, then he should be exonerated. All those charges, he should be let go. He should get the fuck out of there, wherever he is.
Get the fuck out of Romania forever.
But the thing is, like, I think they can keep him. They can detain him for like X amount. No, I don't think it's indefinite. I think it's like an X amount of days, but it's like a ridiculous amount, like 6 months or whatever, pending the investigation. So obviously you don't want these things to be true, but if he's a smart individual and he did all of these things, then it's like, how smart are you? Because you're just bringing more attention to yourself. So I don't know if I hope it's not true, because you wouldn't want these bad things to happen to these people. But that being said, what he represents is like a voice for young, frustrated, angry men. And like they see this guy that's so out there living his best life, and he's telling them, you can attain this too. Like he's like a motivational speaker with a lot of controversy, but he's telling young men to stop chasing women and focus on the money, focus on themselves. Like, what's so bad about that? That alone. And I think he started blowing up when he got cancelled, because they like strung like all those all those little clips
those
of him
clips.
saying, and then it's like you can completely change a person's. You change the context of what those things were said in.
Yeah.
I think they try to do that with Joe Rogan as well.
Yeah. When they had all the clips of him saying nigga.
Yeah,
At
exactly.
the same time, so it made it look like he was this massive racist.
Exactly. But that's not who he is. And luckily, like, you know, he had enough backing from people to obviously say like this
to
is
get through it, really.
Exactly. And I think unfortunately, like in this day and age where you've got like a lot of soft men and like a big push for like feminism and that kind of thing, when that came out, it was just like, this guy is a danger to society. And but I think if you listen to the things he says in its long form, you probably hear a completely different context than what you initially saw it.
I'm not gonna lie, when I listen to his clips that I see on like TikTok and socials, and then I compare that to watching the whole Nelk Boys interview.
What's an what was that?
That was the interview he did with the Nelk Boys, are like one of the #1 like American podcast guys.
Okay.
And they're like just party guys, all right? And they had an interview with Andrew Tate, and he was spitting bars.
Okay.
There was the crazy stuff. There was the hectic stuff that they clip out. But a lot of it, I was like, whoa, dude. And there were aspects of it where it's like, whoa. I actually started applying some of those teachings to my content, and then I got more views, and it was like, whoa.
So like what resonated with you?
For me, the self-improvement, the utilizing clips on social media, and how you can create like shock and awe from a clip. And then everybody's going to be drawn to your thing because of that. And
you've had some success doing this.
Yes. Because once, like after I watched that podcast, then I started, before I would get 5-minute like snippets and I'll post a whole 5-minute snippet. Nobody cared. Now I go 30-second to a 1-minute snippet where I self-contain what a person was saying so that it's understandable. So if a person was talking for 5 minutes, I'll bring that down to a 1-minute thing where it's like, okay, now I understand the gist of what you're saying. And then that'll get like 20,000 views.
But so that's like on like a business side, right? Check your podcast that you're running.
Yeah.
But like you as an individual.
I mean, I think it's just a lot of the self-improvement. Yeah, it's the self-improvement, the focus on reading, journaling, the focus on using strategy in life. Like a lot of his things are applying like the strategies that you would learn in like chess and such, and then bringing those into the real world, or just strategic thinking in general. Yeah, I guess.
Can you fault a man for putting that out there, telling that young men that you're wasting your life force jerking off, watching porn, and spending all your time on the internet and social media and playing video games and just not building your body and looking after yourself, building your mind? Can you fault a guy for saying those things? Can you be angry at a guy for saying those things? Obviously, like the things that come with it that he threw out, I would say irresponsibly, because he said like, I'm the most famous man in the world, I'm the most Google man, da 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 da. But it's like, if you know these things, then you should be a little bit more responsible with it. But I think he stands for more good than bad, and that's my opinion.
Well, Dunhill, bro, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Shut, brother.
I think this one was a cracker.
You think so?
I do.
Are we gonna? You want to do another one?
Definitely, bro.
Okay, let's do another one.
Definitely. And the next time we do one of these, I think we need to bring some ladies on the podcast.
Cool.
Because I think there's some people who would fight you.
I think I'd make some people love me. Cool, man. Shut, brother. Thanks. You too, bro.
You guys like and subscribe and check out the next podcast. Woo!